Christian Academy in Orlando, Florida, and I will be reciting the miracles of Jesus in a poem by Chris Warren. Jesus Christ was born in the meridian of time, performing miracles that were miraculous and divine. He took 6 pots full of water and turned them into wine. He cast out devils and sent them into a herd of swine. Jesus took and blessed the 2 small fish and 5 loaves of bread, from which a multitude of 5,000 people were fed. He said unto the one with palsy, "Arise, and take up thy bed." And immediately he arose and obeyed the words Jesus said. At Jesus' word, Simon Peter let the nets down from his ship. And so great was the multitude of fish, it caused their nets to rip. Simon was astounded at the overwhelming sight, for they had caught nothing after toiling the night. When the disciples were caught in the storm, fearing they would die, Jesus walked upon the sea, saying, "Be not afraid, it is I." On another day, a great storm arose when Jesus was asleep. The disciples became fearful that they would drown into the deep. They awoke their master, saying, "We perish. Lord, save us." Jesus said, "O ye of little faith, for their lack of trust." After rebuking the wind, he said, "Peace, be still," until the seas. The wind ceased, and there was a great calm as he put the storm at ease. A certain nobleman found Jesus and besought him to come down to Capernaum, where his son at the point of death would be found. "Go thy way, thy son liveth," Jesus responded to his plea. The man believed and went his way from Cana of Galilee. The servants of the nobleman met him and told him of the hour when his son's fever had left by Jesus' miraculous power. "Damsel, I say unto thee, arise," were the words Jesus said as he raised Jairus' 12-year-old daughter from the dead. Her spirit heeded the beckoning of the Savior's call. The girl arose and walked, to the astonishment of all. Jesus healed a woman who had been crippled for 18 years. "Woman, thou art loose from thy infirmity," sounded in her ears. As he laid his hands on her, his healing power was revealed. The woman was made straight and glorified God for being healed. As great multitudes followed Jesus, a leper came on the scene, worshiping Jesus, asking, "Lord, if thou wilt, thou canst make me clean." Jesus healed the man's leprosy as he touched him with his hand. Afterwards, Jesus said unto him, "See thou, tell no man." Through a crowd, a woman touched Jesus' clothes and was made whole from a blood disease of 12 years that had taken a great toll. "Who touched me?" Jesus asked. "I perceive virtue has gone out of me." The healed woman confessed and came forth from the crowd for him to see. A dead man was carried to the gates of the city of Nain. He was a widow's only son, causing her much grief and pain. Jesus touched the bier and said, "Young man, I say unto thee, arise." The young man stood up and began speaking before all their eyes. Through the midst of the coast has Jesus walked from beach to beach. He healed a deaf man who had an impediment in his speech. Jesus took the man aside and put his finger in each ear. He spit, touched his tongue and said, "Be open," and the man could hear. And the string of his tongue was loose, so the deaf man could speak plain. All were astonished. He could relieve the man's impending pain. A man that was born blind was healed on the Sabbath day. Jesus spat on the ground and from the spittle made clay. He took the clay and anointed the deprived man's eyes. The man went and washed, and for the first time saw the skies. Jesus told them to remove a stone from where a dead man had been laid. He lifted up his eyes, thanked his Father for hearing him as he prayed. With a loud voice commanded the dead to come forth from the grave. And Lazarus brother of Mary and Martha, came forth from the cave. A phenomenal miracle, for he had been dead 4 days. And many of the Jews believed on Jesus and gave God praise. Jesus healed divers diseases and went about doing good. Some recognized his divine mission, but most misunderstood that he was the Son of God, sent from heaven to the earth, the only sinless man, to his death and from his birth. Jesus went into a garden and there suffered for mankind, bleeding from every pore, suffering in spirit, body, and mind, fulfilling his Father's will and drinking the bitter cup, being betrayed, beaten, scourged, crucified, and lifted up. He trembled with pain, suffering anguish for our sins as he bled. After 3 days, his greatest miracle, rising from the dead, breaking the bands of death, whereby all will live again when they die, satisfying justice, giving himself a ransom for you and I.
Amen.